Obedience has been defined loosely and generally as behavior that is respectful and mindful of rules and laws. But on today's Life Today, we want to go looking into deeper aspects that might lead us into answering questions on obedience, which can be relatable. Well, we are open to receiving your comments on our social media platforms, talking about Facebook and YouTube. And this is Today's Life, coming to you live from Equa Television Africa. My name is Joyce Akwari. I have my sisters in the building with me today. I have Sela Elisha. I have Lois Turaki. Lois, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Let's hear your thoughts on obedience. Like, what do you think that is?
Obedience. Okay, I think obedience is following rules to me. Obedience is being dedicated to something. Obedience is being respectful. So, because I think we've been looking at respect and disrespect for a while now. So I think if I will obey you, I must have respect for you to obey you, regardless of whether it's favorable to me or not. Because we've already laid the foundation, the fact that respect is different to different people. So I believe that regardless of what respect is to me, what, as far as I know what it is to you, I will obey you in that light. So that's what I feel.
So simply put, obedience is mindful, a behavior that is mindful of rules and laws. Like you can be obedient to an authority, you can be obedient to the set down rules and regulations of a particular place, an organization, the country, your society, and all of that. Because we've seen that void of all these laws, all these constitutions, all these rules laid down, there might be chaos, there might be disrespect, just like she has said. So obedience, generally, I just put it like a behavior that complies with laid down rules, regulations, and laws of a particular place or an authority.
Okay, Sela said something that is very important, and I want to draw our attention to different definitions that can be found. And because we have viewers that might have their own, definitions that they can relate with or they are used to, and all, even though we can't say it is general or is static, it is relative. Like how we define our obedience can be different from. But for me, I think I'm of a different opinion from what Sela said about obedience. That obedience, when you respect someone, you obey. Was that what you said? I don't know.
Yes, I can't remember vividly what I said, but I said it's no, since we already laid the foundation. I think for 2 days now we've been looking at respect. So yes, I feel that obedience is regardless of what it means to me. Like
there's something you said about
respect.
Yes,
when I know what respect is to you, then I obey you in line to what it means to you. So that means
there's something I wonder why I didn't pick it. It's more, you said when you respect somebody, is like you just obey. I'm of a different opinion on obedience on that. Because I feel that's me personal opinion. I feel you mustn't respect something somebody before you can obey. Why do I say that? Obedience is deep. Obedience is different, is very different with respect, even though there's that thin line that people tend to interchange them and define them in the same way, and we are forgetting courtesy. We are forgetting a lot of things that are relatable to this. But I feel you mustn't respect someone to obey. Because you have your own.
I believe we all have our school of thought.
Yes, because you might just want to be obedient to a certain rule because maybe that's your personality. You like to obey certain laid down rules, or you might want to take on an assignment that is given to you because no matter what, you will do it at the end of the day. So you obey it, you take on the assignment, you do it. Or you might want to obey the traffic light. Not because there are penalties to it at the end of the day. Not because you really respect the law, you really respect the rules that are laid down.
I get.
Do you understand?
Point, yeah.
No, it's not an argument.
No, it's not an argument. I just want to, because I'm not going to argue, because just like I said, it's peculiar to everybody. The reason why I linked it to, because I'm also of the same opinion with you. Not like I'm totally against it, but the reason why I came from this this point of view is the fact that, like the example you gave, like we obey traffic rules because we want to avoid the penalty, not because we respect it. But I feel at that point in time, you had no choice than to respect the rule,
than to obey the
rule, and because you have to be. And then I'm also coming from the fact that let me bring example of some Bible characters. For example, Saul in the Bible, where he was asked to kill everybody. But then he now saved the sacrifice and said he wanted to sacrifice it to God. To him, he felt the sacrifice stood in the gap for the obedience. And the Bible stated clearly that obedience is better than sacrifice. He had to respect God at that point, because I feel that obedience is not just about me. That's what I said. It's not about, it shouldn't be around, because we always get it wrong, because you feel it must favor you at the end of the day. It mustn't favor you. You just have no choice at that point in time than to be loyal and obey someone. So that's what I feel.
Obedience is deep. You carry out an assignment, you carry out instructions others, irrespectful of who is giving those instructions.
Okay.
No, I am not teaching it. I'm saying this. No, I'm getting. Yes. You're saying okay. Like,
no, it's a learning process. So possibly,
we are trying to understand.
I'm trying to get it from different.
Okay, this is my angle.
Yeah.
So that I would like to understand yours too.
Yes.
And maybe there are other people that are in line with what I'm saying, and there are some people that have questions too on it. That's why I define it generally and loosely from the beginning. And I said we might be answering questions, on obedience and see how. Mine is this: you carry out duties, responsibilities, instructions, irrespective of who, even know who is giving that. It's not because you respect this person, that is why you're carrying out the assignment. That is it, to use these terms mostly, do not kill the messenger, but you take on the assignment, you do it regardless. Because you are obedient to these instructions, you are obedient to the set rules. Maybe he's in an organization, there are set rules. There are times that you have an old organization that you've never even met the people, the management that sets down those rules. But when you are employed in it, you start taking out the instructions. Yes, even though there are supervisors, you take on the instructions, do what is needed regardless. Even assignment, that by this time you are supposed to present today's life. You won't be reminded, or because you don't respect the person that is telling you to. Does that mean you will not? No, I just feel you will go ahead with the assignment. You will take it on regardless of, even though there are people that place these two together, that they must have respect for the person issuing out that instructions first before they will be able to take orders and even be obedient on it. But
I think maybe I'm of that school of thought. Possibly maybe that's why I match the two together, respect and obedience, because sometimes there are rules that even at home our parents do give us, and sometimes we do it out of fear, and we were able to differentiate fear from respect. Sometimes you're just afraid of someone, then you do what the person says, not because you actually have respect for them. But I think I'm coming from that area that most times our obedience should be, or it comes from a heart of respect for someone. I honor you, and that's why I want to take out this assignment.
So if you don't respect that person,
I said maybe possibly that's the school where I'm coming
but
from.
That's no obedience.
Obedience, I see. Let me take the case of Jonah. His obedience was based on fear, because first God told him to go and preach the word and he refused to go. He wanted to go to his own place
and put it at the back of your mind. He respects God, right? Let's put it like that.
Yes, he respects God, of course, but he didn't want to go for that assignment that was assigned to him. He now had to run away, and then he landed himself in the belly of the fish. So when he got out of the belly of the fish after 3 days of I feel he suffered in the belly of the fish, and because of the fear of that kind of thing happening to him again, he had to go and do that assignment, and he grudgingly went to do it, even in the obedience. So even when people obey, there are certain kind of obedience that people exhibit. Is grudgingly they will do it, and not because he respected God, of course, but he had to do what was in his mind. And still, after doing that, he grudgingly went to do the assignment that was given to him. So like you said, obedience is broad and is relative to people. It depends on how the case might be.
You know, why you're defining, I have a question possibly so that I'll be cleared. Now, she make mention of the fact that some obedience come grudgingly. So do we now call that obedience? Because you actually didn't do it would I say wholeheartedly, they actually do it willingly. But at least you obeyed. Okay, so it's still called obedience at the end of the day.
Grudgingly
okay, so but it's still called obedience.
Yes, like his case, he went and did the assignments, and what God wanted to happen to the people of Nineveh it happened. Like and he was still angry about it, but he obeyed. If not, he would have been back in the belly of the fish again.
So like you say, okay, now there are times that you disregard some rules, some laws. Do you think that's you disobeying these rules? Then there are times that it might not even favor you, but you know that you are saddled with this responsibility. Does that mean at the end of the day you still carry out the assignment? Does that mean you didn't obey? No, you did. You didn't just respect the process. You didn't just respect the fact that, okay, this is coming from this person. Just like you said, you might have interest in this person, see him as, okay, someone I respect. You know, it's easier when instruction is coming from the person, then it's easier for you to carry on. But when you disregard the person you don't even respect and the instructions are coming, there are times you even raise your nose. There are times you even, do all those things. But at the end of the day, you, what is it called? You carried out the assignment, right? And you did it. You see, obedience can be enforced. If you want, okay, it's like you being a mother. You have your children, right? Then you are telling them, do not do this, do not do this, and they are not listening to you. They are disobeying it, disobeying your instructions. When you want to enforce it, you might take out the toys that they are playing with, or you might even, there are parents that I see, they will even force their children to sleep. You understand? Or they might do one or two things just for them to get that obedience, for their children to exhibit that certain obedience. Okay, let's say between man and woman now. A man might respect his wife, but he's not obedient to her.
Yes.
I respect her, but I'm not obedient to her because he feels, okay, I'm not supposed to submit. I'm not supposed to, like, he's not, those things are extra. But I respect her as my wife. But I'm not. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
No, I understand.
Okay, so we want to hear more from. Give us instances. Like why you think maybe respect and obedience should go
hand in hand.
I think I'm always looking at it from, just like I said, maybe my school of thought and then Bible characters, and even when the Bible says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right." And I feel sometimes. Respect is something that, like, I hold you in a very high esteem, and so I feel obliged to do whatsoever. Sometimes whatsoever. Why? Because I respect who you are. Now, while I'm coming from that area, like I'm looking at it from the fact that sometimes children obey to do things their parents tell them to do, even when those things are wrong, out of would I could use the courtesy you use, or out of the fact that you gave birth to me, so I feel I'm loyal to you, or I need to obey what you say I should do, regardless of whether it's okay to me or not. Like when I said the story of Saul, he felt that he needed those sheep and all those things, and then he felt he needed to do something else, kind of buying God's favor.
And the instruction was clear.
And the instruction was clear on what you're meant to do, and he chose not to do it. That's being disobedient. And God said he didn't have regard for it because he felt obedience is paramount to him. So it mustn't be favorable to you at the end of the day. It has nothing to do with me as a person. Most times, obedience, sometimes, it doesn't make you feel okay. But you are saddled with the responsibility that I need to do this thing because this person said I should do it.
that you don't see it as a duty to do it.
And I don't see it as a duty, but just because I'm asked to do it,
just do it.
Yeah, sometimes it's because I'm asked to do it, but sometimes because I respect you and I feel if this thing is important to you, it's important to me because I respect you and I hold you in a very high esteem, so I should do what you want to do. And somehow I'll see that it's also favoring me at the end of the day, because if I'm obeying laws because I'm just avoiding the penalty, what happens if I actually, run into another car coming forward? At the end of the day, I obey the rules, and then it also favors me at the end of the day. So I'm respectful and I'm also being obedient.
This is deep though, but see, obedience is, the behavior is respectful because you are carrying out the instruction that is being said, but it's not the same thing as respect. I will still stand on that because it's more like, okay, let's see the story of Moses in the Bible. God told him to what was the instruction? Speak to the rock.
Yes,
He was to speak to the rock.
Then he hit it.
Strike it twice.
He respect God. He is a lover of God. Like, they have that. There's that relationship, and he, just like you said, he held him in high esteem. Whatsoever. Take me to the fire. Take me to the water. I will go. But something influenced that behavior. He was angry with the children of Israelites. He was angry with them. So when he heard the instruction and out of anger, he hit the rock. Not like water did not come out. It did. But there was a punishment for it at the end of the day. Because he did not obey what was said. Don't forget, he had respect for God. But he did not obey what was said because there was another thing that affected, that influenced him, which was anger. And he directed it to maybe the rock, and the rock got the slapping. Then even though water came out from it, you see, there are instances like that, and that's why I made the instance of husband and wife too. A husband might respect his wife. I respect her. She's the mother of my children. She's this, she's that. But he is not obedient to, okay, come back home by 10. He won't do that. There are men that we even listen to their wife saying that, but not like, okay, he doesn't respect her. Or yes, respect goes a lot, even though we're not, it's not like we're comparing and all. I just want us to concentrate more on obedience. Maybe we should bring instances of how obedience can be analyzed, or how people can relate to that, so that we'll have a deeper understanding of that and not compare it to respect, because like you said, we've been talking respect and a lot on the show.
I see another instance of obedience is let's take an example of a soldier. He obeys because of the sense of duty. When they say go to the war front, it's not a favorable place to be, but he goes there because that is his duty, and he has taken that oath that okay, I'm going to protect and save lives of the people of this country. So that soldier goes to the duty post, do what he's assigned to do what he's supposed to do, because he obeys because of that duty, the sense of duty, not because he respects the authority or whatever, but he has to do it because that is what he has said he's going to do. So he does that, he obeys that particular rule.
Yeah, I think another instance I would like to look at is the story of Abraham and Isaac. When God asked Abraham to sacrifice Isaac, we know that this was the child he was waiting for a very long time, and finally, and God now said, okay, sacrifice this child. He told him what he needed to do, the place he needed to be, and even when the child asked him, Daddy, where's the lamb, or where's the ram for the sacrifice? He just said, God will provide. And we could see what his obedience, actually led to the fact that he just went there because he knew he needed to obey God. And regardless of, okay, we know, yes, he's a lover of God. He had the love of God in him. So possibly that love he had for God was able to, help him carry out the responsibility or the obedience. And he was totally obedient. And we saw that at the end of the day, God actually provided a lamb So you can imagine if he wasn't obedient, or he was grumbling like Jonah in the Bible, what would have actually happened? So I think
some people think, okay, when they don't obey, there are times that they might sacrifice, to make up, to compensate for it. But it's always said that obedience is better than sacrifice. And it's easier to just obey, no matter who is saying what, no matter who is giving out the instruction. And I'm bringing us down to maybe the office environment. There are times that you might have a supervisor that you don't even regard. Having respect for a person is admiring the person, based on work ethic, based on personality, based on whatsoever things that can be termed under respect. These instructions are coming, and you know that, okay, that's why we often said, okay, we often say this person has an obedient character. He's obedient, you understand, he can do this and that. When things come out that way, you start thinking, okay, how can I start taking out this assignment? Because it's in your character, it's in your attitude, it's in your behavior, to just receive instructions and go ahead with it. While there are people that, yes, they might respect this person, but because of how maybe the person conducts himself or herself, that's the boss, or because of one thing or the other that might influence, instructions may come and it's not in line with you, and you start grumbling, you start giving excuses. Why should I do that? They want to kill me in this place. You are not obedient. If you are, is regardless of what you are asked to do, regardless. Okay, it's more like let me see, who should I say? I have a mentor that I respect. Does that mean if the mentor says I should jump into fire, without thinking I will jump? No, there are times that you ask yourself, like, okay, should I, even though I respect this person, should I? But you want to know the whys, even though the whens, how do you want me to jump? In what style should I jump? And all those things. Yes. Or you might start looking at the person, this is not the person I should respect, or this is not the person I should be obedient to. Or generally, we have people that we've never met, but we feel we have respect for them. It might be from one celebrity or the other. Okay, let's say maybe I respect Denzel Washington, an American actor. Does that mean I am obedient to him? No, I only respect him. We've never met. He's somewhere, and he doesn't even give me any instruction. I don't even carry any instruction. I don't know if I'm making sense in my analysis of disobedience. But there are times again in our homes, we respect our fathers, we respect our mothers, and they give us instructions. When you respect, it's easier to carry out this obedience, to be obedient to people you respect. I'm not against that at all, because it is very easy for you. They are your parents, they give out instructions, they tell you not to do this, and you just want to go in line because you honor them and you have courtesy. But there are some again that might not respect or regard them in some certain way. When they give the instructions, they don't really carry it out, or they even carry it out based on, okay, the Bible saying honor your father and your mother, or based on it is a general societal thing that I need to do, behave in the best interest of others, or behave in this certain type of way. But how can we analyze, or how do you know when someone is being obedient?
Personally, to me, I see obedience from the results of what is being, or what you are being asked to do. The reason why each time I read the story of Jonah, I try to analyze his obedience, if it's actually obedience or not. Because I feel if I'm being given a responsibility, like at workplace, how you will know I obeyed your rule, or you know that I obeyed your word, is when you see the result of what is being done. That is the evidence of obedience. So if there is no result to show, even though sometimes you do so many things before you bring out the result.
You see, you're bringing out excuses now. Okay, so let me ask you this now. Like, okay, you are carrying out the assignment, then maybe there are obstacles. At the end of the day, there's no result. Is that you being obedient or not?
I feel
Because
it's you being obedient.
How? Because she said at the end of the day there should be a result. So is
that's what I wanted to talk about, that result. Okay, just the exactly.
I don't know if they're looking for an excuse to give, but go ahead.
No, it's not really an excuse. But what if you say there must be a result? The result will show that you have obeyed. What if you were not able to achieve that thing you were asked to do? Like you said,
But do you think you will go to your boss and tell him, okay, this person stopped me from doing this, so I couldn't come up with a result?
You see okay, I don't know. The reason, maybe I don't know why I'm trying to figure out my standing in this topic.
You brought the example of
I brought
Moses and Isaac, when
Abraham and Isaac.
I mean, sorry,
Abraham.
why did I say Moses?
Because you spoke about Moses earlier.
Abraham and Isaac,
Yes.
he was asked to go sacrifice his son, and imagine that in the process it's like the mother carried the child and she's hiding him, so I can't even find my son.
You know the secret of that story was the fact that none of them even knew the assignment.
I don't think Sarah knew that Abraham was taking this child.
She wouldn't have allowed it, because even the child himself was not aware of the circumstances that was leading to the sacrifice. The only person that knew the assignment was Abraham. And sometimes when it comes to obedience, if you truly want to obey, I feel sometimes there are certain circles you maintain to achieve that result you want. Yes, sometimes there are obstacles, like the first instance I gave about Saul in the Bible, when he was asked to go destroy the people. Yes, and he gave excuses with the fact that his soldiers said, and so it now looks as if they were responsible for his disobedience at the end of the day. When God needed a result of your obedience, all I said you should do is kill everybody. That is just all. Who influenced you? I'm not interested. All I need to know, or all I want right now, is result. If your boss gave you an assignment, he doesn't want to know if Lois made me angry at the end of the day. Even though he can be considerate to the fact that, okay, there might be some things, circumstances that led to me delaying. But all he wants is the result at the end of the day. You brought the example of the fact that they always hear people saying, obey before complain. I don't want to hear your complaints. All I want is the result. So mostly, even though I know it's not for everybody, but mostly the result sometimes actually is the evidence of your obedience.
Okay, now that we have people with different characters, people with different personalities, there are people that I'm using the work environment because it's very important, even though we'll delve into other aspects. There are times that instructions are given. The one that you feel respect you, like he shows you respect to, that's the person that will take the longest notes. That's the person that wants to, let's just finish this meeting, let me go and do this thing. Then there are some people that will just nod, okay, take the notes and just nod, then go out. This other person that has been nodding, this other person that has been taking the longest note, this other, when you step out, he will even carry out the assignment. It's as if, okay, yes, there's an instruction from somebody that I respect. Do you understand? But I don't even know how to go about it. Then these other people that just, maybe casually, ask some questions. Okay, so how do you want this? How do you want that? They noted it. Then these are the people carrying it out. They want to see results at the end of the day, based on their work ethics, based on their personality now, and not the respect that they have for this other person. At the end of the day, this person is bringing out results. This person is bringing out excuses. Who is the obedient one?
Person with results.
Person with results.
Person with results.
Yes.
What about this person that at least tried, put in effort, but
there was still a result because there was an effort.
There was an effort, yes, but I just see it like an eye service something, because okay, I feel I respect this person, so I should go about doing. Meanwhile, you're not even doing it the right way it's supposed to be. And it just takes me to the story of this the Pharisee and the tax collector, when he was praying to God and saying, I pay my tax, I do this and I do that. Like, he was prideful about the obedience he was doing. Meanwhile, it wasn't even from his sincere heart. And then the tax collector was sorry that he didn't do the right thing, although he was supposed to obey and do all these things, but he wasn't able to do it. That one was about the obedience he has carried out and all of that. So I just see this part of obedience is just like you being like an eye service, some fake loyalty or something.
Yeah, because to me personally, and I don't know if you're of the same school or school of thought with me, I always with the fact that, okay, you gave example, taking down notes and all that. Taking down notes is nothing. I can come and tell you, hi, Joyce, thank you. In fact, do you know when you were speaking, I could actually see myself, walking. After that, what else? Did you work on it? It's not about hearing what you said. It's not about nodding my head, but it's about using what sometimes I might not come and tell you, Joyce, I'm grateful for what you said. Personally to me, I might not come and even tell you, thank you, you tried. The best way I can actually show you that I'm contented or I'm grateful is by obeying what you said and putting it to practice. So as far as you can't see what you said in practice, I'm not obedient to you. That's what I feel. So no matter what is being said, yeah, sometimes you said someone might put effort. The effort is another result because you can actually see that someone is working towards that. But most time we actually value what we can actually hold, whether it's in words or in action. Yes, this person has done what I said.
Do you think you can obey someone that you have that you disagree on some subjects, or you disagree on some ways,
Yeah,
or some instructions?
obey.
Do you think you can obey that person?
Yeah, I can obey someone that we disagree. Just like I stated from the beginning, even though we're trying as much as possible to avoid respect, but I can't because I have to look at the situation where the assignment is being given to me. Possibly maybe in this show I wanted to cross my leg because that's the way I felt like. And you're of the opinion, no, said that crossing of leg will not. Why don't you sit this way? And I actually look at it, actually it looks better on the on the camera, and I look more composed. We are disagreeing, but I obeyed you at the end of the day.
I know that there are times, okay, looking at the workplace, there are times they will give certain instructions that, okay, do this thing and this is the way I want to do it. I don't agree. I don't see it like it's something that I want to do it, but I'll have to do it because I was asked to do it. That's us being being a different school of thought. We are not agreeing in its particular thing. But then, let me give an example to maybe like events that we have. There's a particular way the GM will say he wants this thing, he wants it to be like this, and I know that she will want to say, "Kai, is this thing? I don't want it this way. Why don't we do?" And then the GM will be like, "No, this is how I want it to be," and you have to go ahead to do exactly what he wants, despite the fact that you have disagreed in what he's saying, but you have to obey what he has said.
I know sometimes I feel obedient is always not about you. I stated it. It's always not about you. But you should look at the good of other people, because in the course of carrying, even though you disagree, but you will realize that in the course of actually carrying out that assignment that has been given to you, which was already stated, somehow it actually favor you at the end of the day. So when we mostly look at what will I get out of it, and that's where we miss the point. If you always look at what you as a person will get out of it, you're being selfish. And obedience has nothing to do with yourself. It's all about the growth of the organization, the growth of an assignment that is being given. How can this thing move forward? And that's why I say it always has to do with the result. Because if it's about yourself, you see that the result is being hampered at the end of the day. It won't come out well. So we always have, when you're obeying someone, we have to always take out ourselves out of the assignment and see what is the good when you take yourself out of it. Even when the example you gave about the road, take yourself out of the and see, okay, when you obey, there will be an upcoming car if you don't obey it. There are other things that will be at stake here.
It might cost you your life even.
So we have to always take ourselves out of an assignment to truly see obedience.
Just, I think, not that I think, most assignments or instructions being given are not favorable at all. We find them very difficult. So just like you said, once you take yourself out of it, your selfish interest out of what you are being asked to do, you achieve that thing. And at the end of the day, you see that it was even good.
But must we always analyze instructions before we obey? Must we always think of, okay, if I do like this, if I don't do like this, this will affect my obedience, or this is not in accordance to me. I want to sleep and they're telling me to go and do this. Like, you know, when sometimes when you receive instructions, you tend to question it. Must you always be that way? Is that like true obedience?
Okay, let me go first. Most times it's because it's a human nature that when you're being given an assignment, you always have to ask questions and you always want to analyze things. It's human. I mean, just like the example you give, I respect and you tell me to jump into fire. I have to analyze, like, fire, like, I'll be hurt at the end of the day.
If you respect me, that means you have some certain level of trust. And you know that, okay, I won't hurt you. And you know that whatever it is I think towards you, or whatever it is, how I regard you, you know, I won't let you be hurt, or I won't let something to happen to you. So if I'm telling you jump into fire, must you analyze it?
I will analyze it. Just like I said, it's a human thing.
Well,
it's a human thing.
I feel, okay, I'm taking my mind to the story of Abraham and Isaac. You know, Abraham has been without a child for long, and he had to even go and have another Ishmael with
his wife's maid.
His wife's maid, yes. Yeah. So now Rebecca was able to. Did I say Rebecca?
Yes.
Sorry, Sarah was able to get him a child, and then God says, "Take this child and go and sacrifice him." I know the Bible didn't say Abraham grudgingly went to do it, or he asked, God, why should I go and this child that I suffered to before before giving me this child, now you say I should go and sacrifice him. I can't remember of any point in the Bible that says Abraham did that. So it comes to where you said, if you respect somebody, there's a level of trust. If the person says jump into fire, then you should be able to do that without asking, without analyzing, why should I do that?
Because I'm looking at it differently. Now Abraham respects God and he did that. You respect maybe your boss and you're taking out the instructions without even thinking about it. But if you don't respect me enough, you won't have that level of trust. When I tell you something, you analyze it. Now in analyzing it, I think we're not truly obedient in it. It's more like, okay, I have trust in Lois. You know, when anything Lois tells me, I believe it wholeheartedly and I take it up, you know, because I know that she loves me, she trusts me, or she has my best interest at heart. I will go in line with whatever she's telling me, because that's an instruction. She's telling me, okay, this is what I should do, you know. But me already, I'm already thinking of the end result. I'm already questioning it. Were there ever instances that you were faced with that? Let's hear your own experience.
Yeah,
honestly, like from your heart, because if we don't relate things, you know, there are people that do these things differently. And just like I said, they might define the obedience as, they might define courtesy as being obedient. No. Or you might define something else as being obedient. While when obedience is expected from you, you give excuses. You even give reasons why you can't obey the instruction. So let's hear your own experience.
Yeah, I've had an experience where something or an assignment was being given to me. And just like we said, that obedience is behavior. So I believe it's something you will learn. It's not just something that you just stand up and say you do it. You learn to obey. I've had situations whereby even though something was not favorable to me, but
like now, you're already doing the
like, okay, I'm calm, right? Yeah, I've had situations where something was not favorable to me and I had to do it. I remember the first time I had a show, and I remember clearly you called and asked if I loved something that had to do with, you know, getting so much into, you know, current affairs, and I was like, no, I don't like it. And you're like, okay, Shella, this is given to you. Personally, my selfish,
like, these people want to kill me.
I'm like, but I just, you know, I already told you this is not what I want, and you know, but at the end I was like, it's a rule. I mean, it's an instruction that's been given to you. I don't need to sit down and start analyzing and asking you, why did you do that? Why don't I just go ahead and do it? And at the end of the day, it was like, I got to, okay, why don't I take myself out of this assignment that has been given to me and see what will be the end result? Why don't I challenge myself and be obedient to all this thing? Because it's more than the result is what is important at the end of the day. That even if the result doesn't come out to be as beautiful as you want, but I made an effort and the effort is being seen, that actually you put an effort to make sure that you brought out something.
So what if we judged it based on the process involved in carrying out that assignment? Or let's say, for example, in that instance, maybe I was just observing you and I was seeing how you were like, you know, like these people, or you talk to someone else. Imagine, Magdalene, they gave me this program. I told them this is not my strength. What. You started, what is it called? Mobilizing people to hear your troubles, you know, so that they can, you know, when we mobilize people to hear our troubles, our sorrows, we want sympathy. We want sympathy from them. That's why we're telling them. Because why would you tell somebody something that is about you, just you, your own assignment? Then grudgingly, okay, do this, then you will do one page, then I will have to write all the script, or I'll have to check it, or I'll have to tell you this is how you do. You think I will see it as being obedient?
No, you see it as being obedient.
Lord is thinking of yours will come to you.
You see it as being obedient. And that's why, like earlier on,
and I would think you don't even have respect for the person giving out the instructions, and I would think you don't even have respect for the policies that are set, laid down. Even you are not even obedient, you know, to these policies, because maybe the policy says be open, because other you might be assigned other duties.
That's why earlier on stated the fact that sometimes if you want to progress in obedience, you need to cut out certain things. You don't need to tell everybody everything about it, because they have a way of putting you down, and then it affects your obedience. Just like we're looking at the Abraham issue. So personally, like if I had grumbled and raised my eyebrows, definitely that was why I asked if Jonah's obedience was obedient, because even after God saved them, he was still grumbling. A tree that he was using, when God took it away, he was shouting that the tree he was using for shade, you know. So sometimes you will see it as total obedience, and that's why sometimes personally, even when I'm being tempted, because just like I said, it's a human thing to analyze something like, why did you tell me to do something? But I believe Abraham might have had that thought in his heart, but he didn't open up to share. I feel he will, after all this year, but let me just go and see.
Abraham is an obedient.
You get? You know, if you're going to analyze obedience, Abraham was obedient. He was never grumbling. Okay, let's.
Unlike Moses, that's, you know.
Yeah, I don't mean to grumble, but you know, if we're going to check the prophets in the Bible, Moses was being mentioned as the most humble prophet. If you take a look at the way Moses was, he was so humble, but that singular act of disobedience.
Humility doesn't mean obedience.
No. Sometimes you obey when you are humble enough to listen to instructions. Most times, even though we're trying to differentiate respect and obedience, most times obedience comes with you being humble to listen to instruction. You gave me an instruction, said I'm giving you this program to take it. I need to be humble enough to listen to the way you want it to be done, because that would determine if I was obedient to you or not. Those eyebrows that will raise and all those matters will be turning in the process, non-verbally, will affect the obedience, and that will even show in the result at the end of the day that, okay, this assignment was carried out with lots of, you know, words in her heart, in her mind. Sometimes even unconsciously on TV you say it. So sometimes I feel that's where I, you know, analyze.
Let's hear from Lois.
When Tila was talking, I was just thinking so hard of
your own experience.
My own experience of obedience, or when I was disobedient about an instruction given. But then I did not really find something so distinct, but I know that there are instances that at home my mom would be like, Lois, let's go and do something. And then I would be like, why me? Why is it that it's me you want me to go and do that particular thing? Because I know that most of the times at home, I don't want to do anything. I just want to stay and have my own space and do my things. or maybe even if I want to do something in the house, I want to, like, at my own time when I wake up, okay, this is when I want to do this thing. And then she'll be like, is now, I want it done right now, like, stand up and do it, and I will grudgingly squeeze my face and go and do it. So just like the issue of Jonah, that is not total obedience. Like, I did it because I was forced to do it, or because I didn't want to be beaten up, or I don't want her to later on maybe come and start telling my dad or tell my siblings, okay, see what I told this girl to do and she refused to do it. You know, our parents have a way of wanting to report your disobedience to somebody, so that, I don't know if they want to get the whole gang together. What I don't really get it, but then that's just how it is. So I know that there are situations like that happened in the house, that I was asked to do something and I grudgingly had to do it because I was scared of the punishment or all of that. So
how do you think we can be now with all these definitions, with all these relatable instances? You know, I think we've answered some of the questions that people might be thinking, okay, they are being obedient, but at the end of the day, no, they are just being themselves or something else. How do you think we can be better, you know, with the issue of obedience, with how we can take up this? Because it's very important. Most times, the generation is changing. We are defining this. We are bringing in things that suit us, you know, to define obedience, to define so many of these things. And it's not proper at the end of the day that, okay, this is basically what it is. And some people might even claim, I am very obedient to the rule of law, very obedient to the set rules in this organization. They say I should come by this time, this is the time I come. They say, but before, when you wake up, you're already, God, again, like, what is happening? You know, so many excuses that is padded around this obedience. How can we do it and do it well?
I think, just like I stated, that obedience, it's something you learn, since it's a behavior. And if you know that you actually can do it, you need to bring yourself to learning. It's something, the problem we are having why we don't know is because we don't want to learn. We are not open to learning. And the earlier we open ourselves to learning, then you see that it's actually not just about the person giving you the task, but it's also going to favor you at the end of the day. And then secondly, just like I said, we need to learn to take ourselves out of the responsibility or whatever is being told, or whatever tax is being given onto us. When you take yourself out of it, then you look at whatever assignment is left, then you see that gradually you will learn to see that, okay, actually it's not about me. Because we're always, when you're always me, that me thing is that syndrome that actually kills the obedience. So we should learn to take ourselves out of a responsibility, and then we'll learn obedience.
I see this, how we can be able to be obedient is when you trust whoever it is that is giving you that particular instruction. You should know that this person knows what the good for you, or he knows what is best for you. He has your best interest at heart. That's why he's giving you that particular thing to do. Like in the workplace, we receive instructions and things to do because they want a certain thing being done. We want to achieve a certain goal. We want the organization to move forward. That's why we're being given certain responsibilities, certain instructions to do. Like they say, drop your phone. We know that most times our phones distract us from doing the work that we are expected to do. Probably you are being given something to do in the next 10 minutes, and then you are there busy with your phone trying to pick a call or trying to check Facebook, check Instagram and see what's happening there. All those are distractions that will make you not to be able to achieve that thing that you're being asked to do. So when they say drop your phone, it's for the best interest of the organization and even for your own good, because you will be able to achieve that thing that you're being asked to do and avoid punishments, avoid anything that will make you feel like you're inadequate.
Exactly.
So that's just
okay, for me, how I want to conclude on obedience is this: for you to be able to obey easily, you have to take up respect as a way of life. Be respectful. respect people, respect their position, respect who they are, what they are, regardless of whatsoever. When you have this respect for people, and respect comes with love, admiration, it comes with trust. When you have that, it's easier for you to take up any instructions, and it's easy for you to love and obey. Okay, it's just like the country in Nigeria. If you don't love your country, you won't obey. If you're not patriotic, I don't think you will obey. You won't even see it. You won't even regard it as anything. It's the same with humans. If you regard this person, I think it's easy for you to take up the responsibility or the duty that the person is asking. And in respect, you have to be broken to have humility. You have to be broken to be loyal, because loyalty is most of the things that is not found. It's one thing that is not easily found these days. People can claim they are loyal. No, that's high service. People can claim they respect somebody. No, is a different thing entirely. And in respect, you come up with service. If I respect this person, how can I serve the person? That's how to ask. In everything, you see how it will be easy for you to obey. And the person giving instructions knows that, okay, this person trusts me, that I should not even bring up something that will hurt him at the end of the day, because he's trusting me with his life, he's trusting me with his career, he's trusting me with everything that is embedded in him. You see, if we do this, if things are easily defined, and personally, okay, this is how you feel about this person, or this is how you feel about this thing, you will obey easily. But do you think there is, in conclusion, like briefly, do you think there should be punishment for every disobedience?
There should, because when you're being punished for it, you learn to do the right thing next time. So you might be forgiven, yes, but that shouldn't take the place of punishment to correct you.
But do you think punishment and forgiveness should like the same? Because, okay, let's say the wife of Lot, when they were instructed, okay, leave the city, and she turned, she disobeyed, she was punished at the end.
Instantly.
Because of the gravity. Goes unpunished. I feel once, especially when it comes to God, once you do not obey a particular instruction, you will be punished for it.
So humans too should take up those attributes.
We should take
Thank you very much for giving me insights, on what to do or how to always expect when I disobey one thing or the other. It has been obedience on today's life, and we heard the opinion of Lois, and we heard the opinion of Sele, and also I brought mine to the table, and I know you have your own answers or your own questions, and you have your own opinions. But what do you think about everything that was discussed? I believe that it has impacted someone out there. I believe that it has changed a bit of culture or influenced somebody's life out there. And we promise you that we'll keep bringing impactful topics on today's life. And we just want to appreciate you for joining us today on today's life. And we want to tell you that, okay, we're also grateful also for every viewer that is always tuning in to watch. And to our supporters, we love you. And to the ECWA executive, thank you very much for giving us this platform, to bring the word of God to people, to viewers cutting across ECWA members. Thank you very much for watching this today. Bye.